Hey everybody, my name is Silly Billy, but you can call me Billy. So, you've read the thumbnail, and there's a good chance that you've already heard the news. This is a bit of a different video from what I usually make, but I felt that this was an important topic to discuss. Today, I want to quickly address the current state of Disventure Camp, as well as its future. Before I start, please note that I am not affiliated with Odd Nation Cartoons or with any of the people involved with the production of Disventure Camp. I'm just a big fan of their work, and I happen to have a YouTube channel with which I can share this information with you. So, Disventure Camp is getting cancelled. Sort of. With the release of episode 4 last week, we have now had the final fully fleshed out episode as the creators intended it from the start. There will not be any more full-length episodes in the way that we are used to them right now. To understand why, we need to go a little further back into time. See, Total Drama, for those of you who don't know, is owned by a company called Fresh TV. And just like any properly organized company, they have some lawyers to represent them and protect their properties against copyright infringement. Without going into too much detail about the ins and outs of copyright laws, basically it gives the company the exclusive right to copy and distribute a project. In this case, if I were to livestream full episodes of Total Drama on my channel, I would get striked and forced to take it down. In fact, you can see that you don't even need to show full videos in order to run into trouble. For example, chapter 5 of my Total Drama review series contains a couple of moments where I put in clips that were just a little too long without interruptions, and as such I cannot earn income on that video. Now, all that unimportant stuff aside for now, copyright laws also mean that you cannot make your own work using copyrighted assets, or to use its more complete term, intellectual property. This includes things like characters, storylines, concepts and setups, and, well, basically anything involved with the original product. And if you think, wait, if that's true, then how is anyone on YouTube making videos without having to take them down? Well, that is because of the holy concept known as fair use, which basically allows you to use whatever copyrighted material you want, to a certain extent, with the assumption that you add value to the final product. So, all these reaction videos that you see on the internet are fair game, because Let's Players are adding value through their commentary, as an example. But this is also where stuff becomes a little iffy. Where does fair use end and copyright infringement begin? There's many deciding factors in this, but one important aspect is whether or not a company cares. There are quite a few companies that don't care or even encourage people to use their material to make something of their own. Sadly, this does not seem to be the case for Fresh TV. So what, do the Total Drama people hate their creative fans who want to work with the Total Drama brand? No, far from it. The Total Drama team are very fond of their community. They have expressed this multiple times. And I mean, of course they are, because the community is what allows them to turn their passion into a way of earning money. But you see, Total Drama and Fresh TV are not the same people. And that money earning thing is exactly where things go wrong. Companies don't like it when you use their product to make money for yourself, especially when you target your own creation at the same audience as the company you take inspiration from. On the business side of things, this can be considered taking away potential viewers, and as such you are damaging the company's profit. This is also what drives Fresh TV to operate the way that they do. Listen to this quote from Christian Potenza, who voices Chris McLean.
When they are original ideas, that's fantastic. When they are based off of something else, somebody else's IP, well then you got some issues at hand here. Yes, it's an homage, but the thing is you can't do an exact ripoff and enhance it in any way. That's called plagiarism. Now,
Christian works for Total Drama, and as we just established, those are not the same people as Fresh TV, but they do operate under the same rule set. And the clip you just watched? That was not about Disventure Camp. Instead, this clip was uploaded shortly after a similar situation with Total Drama Reunion. Total Drama Reunion was a fan-made Total Drama sequel made by YouTube channel Blue Productions. The series was set to focus on a handful of Gen 1 Total Drama characters returning for another season, but a lot of time had passed and they were now adults. The show was a big thing within the Total Drama community, as this season showed amazing production quality for a fan-made project. But alas, just after episode 1 went online, the project ran into issues with copyright infringement, as Fresh TV ordered what is known as a cease and desist against Blue Productions, essentially ordering them to remove the episode they already made and to discontinue making new ones. On their community feed, Blue Productions said this: "I have some bad news. Early this morning, Fresh TV reached out to me and formally requested that I delete the first episode of Total Drama Reunion due to copyright infringement. I have always been under the assumption that this project might qualify as parody and therefore be protected under copyright laws. But I knew that there was always going to be the possibility of this not being the case, and so I cannot say that I am completely surprised that this happened. I told Fresh TV that I would be willing to relinquish all revenue if this episode could stay up, but unfortunately they were not interested. Despite it being really sad to happen, the reason why Total Drama Reunion got canned is pretty clear. The show used the same characters as the original Total Drama seasons and even continued the same name. While the differences are easily noticeable to anyone who has watched both shows, from a legal standpoint, there is a very clear case to be made that the untrained eye will think that this is an official sequel to the show. And even if not, Reunion still counts as a direct market substitute to Total Drama, and so the lawyers can order the producers to quit. Now, while this is all very sad and not the outcome that we would have liked to see, don't feel too sad for Blue Productions. Pretty soon after this drama had settled a little, Blue started to work on a new, wholly original show called Mysteries of Kruger Mansion. And apparently they are now trying to get funded by Mr. Beast. So yeah, I think they're doing fine. I'm just really salty that they rejected my application to be one of the voice actors at the time. I won't forget, guys. So basically what I think Kip's voice need is a character that can both sound nervous, but also can sound like he is strong and stands for what he believes is right. So back to Disventure Camp. Because the situation that is going on with this season right now is comparable to what went on with Reunion a little while ago. Though at the same time there are quite a few differences to be found. At first glance, Disventure Camp seems to avoid the pitfalls that Reunion ran into. They don't have any Total Drama characters, nor is their name directly tied to the original seasons. And hey, there's a good chance that this actually helped Disventure Camp's case. I mean, ultimately, the show ran a full season and a half without any issues before. Or so I thought. But I didn't just want to present you with my theories without backing them up.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source? My source is that I made it the f*** up.
So I reached out to Odd Nation Cartoons themselves. And turns out, this was not their first trouble with copyright. We already finished the Total Drama fan-made series called Total Drama Adventure. It was airing on YouTube weekly starting in April 2021. Everything was okay back then. The series only has Spanish audio, so I think Fresh TV didn't notice them. Later in January of 2022, we got a YouTube notification saying all of our episodes were deleted from YouTube and we had 2 strikes. We were really close to losing our channel. Fresh TV didn't contact us for it, they just worked their magic on YouTube. So we re-uploaded our Total Drama Adventure series to our secondary channel and changed the name to Disventure Camp. And so the team re-uploaded their work under a different name, and they started work on the sequel, Disventure Camp. This time they made sure to stay under Fresh TV's radar. We avoided any reference to the Total Drama franchise, also changing some things of the format, taking elements from Survivor, the CBS show referenced for creating Total Drama. The format is basically the same. We didn't focus on changing too much of the art style, since an art style can be owned. And for a little while, things seemed to be fine. Until they weren't. Despite this season having seemingly only little nods and references to the original seasons, Fresh TV still ordered a cease and desist against Disventure Camp. A quote from Odd Nation Cartoons reads, "As many already know, we have been contacted by Fresh TV as they consider that our series incurs copyright. Despite the fact that many changes were made so as not to break any law or YouTube policy, we know the power that Fresh TV has. We've exchanged mails with them and their worried fans might confuse Disventure Camp with their new seasons." And there you have it. It's the same idea of market substitution that plagued Reunion as well. Despite not being affiliated with Total Drama, Disventure Camp is still similar enough to the project to warrant legal actions. The combination of a familiar game format, art style, character designs, and certain story beats and challenges make this just seem too familiar for Fresh TV to ignore, especially with the new seasons coming up. Now, whether that is fair or not is not the question here. If it was, I feel like an appeal could be made to remove these restrictions from the show. In my opinion, Disventure Camp does enough differently to be viewed as its own project rather than a copycat. However, as I just went over, there are also some clear similarities between the two. And unfortunately, but also logically, this is what the Fresh TV lawyers are worried about. And you might be thinking, so wait, if money is the problem, then why not just demonetize the videos? Well, turns out that that doesn't solve the issue. Copyright infringement is still in play when monetization is turned off, or even when financial gain is transferred to Fresh TV instead. We saw this with Reunion, and the same holds true here. Unfortunately, this is where things end. Except, it isn't. You see, liars, as much as we like to believe otherwise, they're not bad people. And the people at Fresh TV, they don't dislike fan-made content. As such, a deal can be struck between two parties that avoids copyright infringement without having to destroy all the hard work that the fan creators put into their passion projects. And in the case of Disventure Camp, that is exactly what has happened. While we will no longer be getting full Disventure Camp episodes, Odd Nation Cartoons and Fresh TV have struck an agreement that the series may be allowed to continue as a webcomic. Not only that, but new videos will still come out where those comics will be translated to video comics on YouTube, which will be voiced by the original cast of Disventure Camp and have some limited animations in them here and there. Essentially, we are still getting Disventure Camp episodes, but the way that they are presented is just a little bit different. Instead of getting a platter of French fries, we are now served a platter of potato wedges. The experience may be a little different, but the way that we can enjoy them doesn't change. That may be the dumbest analogy I have ever made. Anyway, if you want to get a taste of the new Potato Wedge Disventure Camp, you can head over to webtoons.com, where episode 1 is already posted. I'll link it down in the description as well. Rest assured that we will be able to witness the ending of Disventure Camp. While this situation is admittedly a little sucky, I for one am very excited about the future of this series and will anxiously await the next episode. But for now, that's going to be it for me. A big thank you goes out to Odd Nation Cartoons for allowing me to address this issue to you. Please make sure to show your support by subscribing to their channel. And hey, since you're already handing out subscriptions here and there, please make sure to toss me one as well, okay? As a final note, please don't go harass the people involved with Fresh TV or Total Drama. Not only are they also just people trying to do their job, but a large uproar from the community may even backfire and cause the removal of our previous 4 episodes. So let's make sure that that doesn't happen. But again, I thank you for watching. This has been Silly Billy, and remember, there are many delicious ways to serve the same potato. Houdoe!